The most important trend in comms and PR for the next year will probably involve the coming together of different disciplines. So my role at Things with Wings is to put ideas first instead of disciplines. So what it represents as an agency is the coming together of digital, PR, technology and creative. And I'm very lucky that I can work in that environment, but I think that what we will see across the industry is clients asking for more integrated work. So already at the moment, we are, as TMW, being asked to work very closely with other agencies. We always have done. But what we're going to be seeing for the next 12 months is more of a focus on that and more of agency groups coming together to present integrated work back to the client. And that will also probably have an effect on structures within agencies. So teams working more closely together, so planning teams and creative teams working hand in hand, community managers getting involved in the mix, and people just working in more of a hub and spoke environment rather than lots of separate little groups. So the brand newsroom concept is a really interesting one for me because I apply a filter of social over any kind of comms related activity. And so for me, the brand newsroom, I hear that and I think of almost like a war room environment around live events or around social listening. So either people physically being in a room, listening to what's being said with lots of screens around them and working out how they're going to respond to that, or, as I was in at E3 in LA last week, an actual war room with lots of different people with different skill sets coming together to create content on the fly. And so I think that's quite exciting because for me, the phrase evokes an actual newsroom, whereas I think a lot of PR and comms-led people will hear that as a phrase and think about almost like a hub of content that is static and set aside from other things. So I think it's quite interesting to have the two different things, and they do marry up. A lot of times when you're in that live environment and you are creating content on the fly, you will have to rely on something like a brand newsroom to get assets, to get approved copy, to get the right fonts, to get the right video copy, stuff like that. And so they do link together, and I think that's really interesting to see how that relationship and that interplay develops. I guess there's technology from lots and lots of different perspectives. There's new technology in terms of social platforms, which brands see as a way to communicate. There's technology from the perspective of making our life easier from within the agency, so from new design software through to 3D printing, through to things like that. So real innovation in what we can produce creatively, all the way through to external tools that allow us to talk to people better or to analyse what we're doing in a smarter way. So there's lots of different strands to that as a question. I think the most interesting of them is clients seeing new innovative things that they can use to talk to consumers and wanting us as agencies to have a point of view on them. So we will be asked, what is the application of RFID in our environment? And then we as a group will have to respond to that. But to be able to do that in the first place, you really need to understand it. And you need to have played with it, got inside it, just messed about with things and really just experimented with what things are capable of. And I think that element of play is becoming really central to good creative agencies. And that will just continue to be more and more prominent in the things that clients ask of us.